Keeping it on Premier League for a minute, though. I want to ask a question here. I want to ask a question, boys, and managers and what they do. Are Tottenham boring, or are they playing smart football?
Oh, they're playing the best football in the country. What do you mean? Tottenham Hotspur. They're unbelievable. They have Son and Kane firing, right? Playing scintillating football with the talent that they have. You have the best front three in the country. You should be absolutely ripping teams apart. But no, it's not the way for Conte, is it? So what are you gonna do?
I think it's both for them, though. I think it's both, though. It's nothing wrong because, like, if it gets,
No.
I think if it gets Spurs a trophy, do you think they're going to care about the football if they get
No, but I don't.
It's just different styles. Simeone as well.
At this current rate, no, it's not going to happen. I'm sorry, you can't play like that against Nottingham Forest. Get bad for 80 minutes, and then also we found out yesterday Steve Cook is only 31. He looks like 40. Right? Yeah, I know it's mad. Steve Cook is 31 years old. It's mental. The only reason they won that game was Steve Cook.
Rewind that, David. David, you said we got battered. How did we get battered? You know,
bro, they held the ball for like 80% of the game, man.
You know, there's different ways to play football. Just having the ball doesn't mean that they're in control of the game. They were never in control of that game.
Patrick,
how many clear-cut chances did they have?
Against higher quality opposition, they will.
We've played higher quality opposition. When's the last time
we got screwed out of the win?
When's the last time we lost the game? So this is what I'm saying. You lot have to actually be sensible with what you're saying. We've played Liverpool, we played Man City, we played you boys, and did we get battered in those games?
We're going to last season.
No, I'm talking this season, last season. There's a good sample size.
Over the past 4 games, you have deserved to win maybe 2.
No, we deserve to win all the games.
That's our push.
David,
I don't know. When I look at football, I got to agree, man. I mean, if it gets the job done, it gets the job done. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, we can look at aesthetics and we can look at it, but back in the day, Wigan used to play sick football. They got relegated and, do you know what I mean, won the FA Cup, but they never saw the light of day ever again. Like, I think there's a fine line. I think, yeah, as a fan, as a football fan, from a neutral perspective, you want to see nice football, cool. But if you're just trying to win, and I'm talking about just being a winner, do you think Drogba and Lampard and them man cared when they were playing Mourinho ball back in the day? They didn't care because they won. They won.
Like,
I wouldn't have cared. Like, Liverpool have had a poor start to the season. Do you think I would have cared about the performance? I just want the result.
Like, if you if you look at it, like yesterday's game, I'm looking at it right now. The penalty, if you include the penalty, you beat them on XG by 2.2 to 1.1. That's what it says. But obviously, a penalty is like ridiculous XG, and also Steve Cook decides to punch the ball in the air. Right? If you take that away, they should have scored at least once. They should have scored at least.
You watched the game. How many quality chances did they have?
They had quite a few chances where you sat there and said, "You know what? He should do better."
Lloris made one save. Lloris made one save.
But again,
another day,
you know the goal from 5 yards
away. Is this the Tottenham way?
What do you mean? Is this the Tottenham way? What are you talking about? We're winning games.
No. Is this the Tottenham way?
We haven't okay. Let me just be honest. We haven't been great in all of our games. There's been halves of football where we haven't been good, but we have the players that can turn it on and score goals. We will score a lot of goals. We will beat a lot of teams. And to say that we got battered in a game where we comfortably finished 2-0, and it should have been more. In another day, Son was through on goal, should have scored. Kane was through on goal, should have scored. Kulusevski had a chance. Højbjerg had a chance. I can name up team amounts of chances where we had that we actually should have scored. So to say we got battered it's mental to me, because there's more than one way to skin a cat. And you can play all the fancy football in the world, try and walk the ball in, and you don't score. It doesn't make sense.
I love the lawyer work that you're doing. I really do.
It's not lawyer work, because we scored since Conte's come in. We scored the most goals. Conte's picked up the most points since. So there's loads of like when people like you, David, say these things and there's no like logic behind it. It don't make sense, because even Kaz went and pulled up and said, "Oh, you know what? My bad. Tottenham have actually picked up a lot of points. Son scored the most goals last season. Kane was up there.
Last year. You're playing better football at the end of last year than you have this season.
I admit we haven't played great football.
I'm not talking about last season. Let's forget last season. We've done that with Arsenal. We've done that with Man United. Right, cool. If we look at our Spurs over the past 4 games, if you continue playing like that over 38 games, you are not going to finish where you want to finish.
Why would we though? There's no, we won't play like that over 38 games. There's no way. But to say we get battered when we're actually comfortably beating teams,
it's not an Forest, man.
Yeah, but you said we got.
They should have scored. They should have scored.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda, isn't it? Shoulda, woulda, coulda. They didn't.
If they scored their goal when they should have scored their goal, then it's 1-1, and then
David,
Sorry, sorry, go on.
at no point
Go on,
on
Zach.
Sunday did I feel worried or under the cosh. I can come say that I was watching the game and I was like, okay, Forest are trying it. They huffed and puffed, but I never felt like, oh shit, we're under the cosh here and Forest are going to score. That's just me. I didn't really feel threatened by them.
What I would say this is that the fact that the stats show that how many points Conte's won since he's arrived, and he's been here nearly getting 9 months or so now. There is sustainability in this. That there just is. People think I don't rate Tottenham because I predicted them coming outside the top 4. It's only because I think that Chelsea and Arsenal are going to be better, but I still think they're going to be very, very good, very, very hard to beat, and we kind of saw that yesterday. And the one thing about them is they're playing a different brand of football to like 90% of the rest of the Premier League. It's pragmatic, they absorb and they pounce on the counter. And the fact that they don't need Son to be his scintillating best to still win games, again, should be a scary notion to rivals, because if Son wasn't like if Son or Kane weren't performing, they found it hard to win. You've got Kulusevski now, you've got Richarlison that's chomping at the bit to come on and play, and you're now going to start to see more rotation now that we're moving to 2 games per week. I always kind of hate the opening 3 to 4 games because there's 1 game a week and you don't see as much rotation. But I do think, look, Spurs are serious. They're really serious, and I don't think they're boring per se because teams attack them. It makes the game cut. There's a lot of jeopardy in the game. I think they're being smart in terms of what they're doing. They're going about things with a very different approach than most other teams. Liverpool, City, United are trying. Arsenal are now doing it. Very much a possession-based style of football. And even like Chelsea do that as well. Chelsea aren't a sit back and absorb pressure and counter-attack team. And not, in my view, like you try to progress the ball. And Spurs are just going about it in a different way. And I think that's what makes them very dangerous, is they're kind of like, I don't want to call them anti-football or fossil football. They're just going about it in a very, very different way, whether they look good or not. But the points and the wins and the victories like count for themselves, which is why I think we could actually be on for one of the greatest Premier League seasons of all time. Like, this is just going to be such an amazing season because, was it you said, David, behind the scenes, and I stole it at the beginning, but the first time since May 2017, so we're talking over 5 years that you've had all 6 of the top 6 win. And Man United are going to get better. Chelsea have got signings coming in. Arsenal go from strength to strength. Spurs are what they are. And honestly, and Liverpool will get better. Like, I know Liverpool were bad in the opening 3 games, but anyone who thinks Liverpool are staying at that level for the whole season, I think it's crazy. And City are just what they are. But yeah, I don't think Spurs are a bad team.